on the floor. Floor I love to dance, so give me more. More till I can't stand, get on the floor. Floor like it's your last chance if you want more. More than here I am.
Hey Foodie Beauties! I hope you're doing well. I know it just looks like the green giant threw up on my plate, but it's the plate of veggies. You know, that's what I'm reduced to right now. Okay, so it's not just a plate of veggies. So I have 2 small sweet potatoes because these sweet potatoes are actually really small. They're organic. They're organic. With the leftover corn I had, I just mixed it into like an elotes, however you pronounce it, and some nutritional yeast, which by the way, I found out that nutritional yeast is a very good source of vitamin B12. I didn't know that. So this is gonna be my lunch, and you know, I have a story time. Today, it's like more of a public humiliation caused by a fight or flight response I have. I have this weird fight or flight response. Okay, let's take a bite. So yeah, I have a weird fight or flight type of response to things. I'll give you some examples. I go through these phases where I hate veggies because my body's like, give me fat, sugar, and salt, you know? Okay, so first example of this kind of public freak out. It all starts when I was a kid. I was a very nervous kid that easily freaked out about things. And the first instance I remember, want a bite? I want you guys to be healthy too. Is whenever I got my, was getting my ears pierced. Now, I can understand a baby screaming and crying, but I was 8 or 9, so I was not a baby. So, my mom takes me to get my ears pierced when I'm like 8 or 9. And I'm the one who wanted it, okay? So there's this like, I think it was like Ardene's. They were doing ear piercings back then. This little jewelry shop with a gun, you know? So I'm really nervous. And the girl's like, are you ready? I was like, yeah. Not really. So she's putting the little ink on my earlobe, getting even more nervous. My mom's like, you're gonna be okay. So she's like, ready. 1, 2. The countdown is what made me ultra nervous, I think. You're anticipating this loud noise and this pain. So she does the first ear. Bing! It's like a loud noise. I think the noise startled me, you know? And the stinging, the intense stinging radiated through my ear. I could feel my ear getting hot. I freaked out. I just freaked out. I jumped up from the chair, and this is in a crowded mall, okay? Jumped up from the chair. Everyone, like the girl and my mom were like, where are you going? I zoomed out into the mall hallways. Literally screaming and crying, running back around. I hid behind, you know those like machines? You put a quarter in and get a bubble gum or whatever. I hid behind there. My mom came and she's like, Chantal. And she was mad. She's like, you're not running around with one ear pierced and one not pierced. I was like, no, I'm not kidding. It's like freaking out. I made such a scene in the mall. Oh my god. Anyway, I refused. And I actually left the mall with one ear pierced and one not pierced. I didn't go back. I waited till this ear was healed up a bit and then I just took the earring out. I didn't get my ears pierced like officially for years later. When I was in a scaredy cat. That was the first instance. So another one, and this goes along with one of my biggest fears. I'm extremely claustrophobic, like extremely. You can't even give me a bear hug, a big tight hug without me freaking out. I'm just like, let me go. This was another fight or flight, like adrenaline, I'm freaking out kind of situation. I've been battling with this claustrophobia. The worst is elevators. Oh, to get me in an elevator, forget about it. I mean, it's so hard. Some days, if I'm drunk, I'm okay. I have that liquid courage, but some days I'm just so terrified, and it really depends on the condition of the elevator. Like, when I was working in the hospital, the elevator was well maintained, there was lots of people, it was see-through glass, I could see the outside world. So, this was before I met BB, shortly before I met BB. But this happened to me a few times, but I'll tell you this example. I was seeing this guy, and he lived in a really, like, ghetto-ass building. Like, you walk in, it smells like cat urine, and of course, when I saw the building, I was like, oh, damn it. What am I gonna do, you know? I'm like, I'm gonna have to take the elevator because I don't want him to think I'm weird, and I don't want him to see me out of breath if I go up the stairs. And like, he buzzes me into the building if I take the stairs. Like, this guy lived on the 9th floor, so if I take the stairs, I'm gonna have to stop. So it would take me probably like 10 minutes to walk up the stairs or whatever. And I want him to be like, where is she, you know? And then he comes into the stairwell and sees me huffing and puffing. Like, no, I don't want that. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll take the elevator. But then when I got to the elevator, oh my god. There's just one, which means in a building of that many stories, if there's one elevator, it's used a lot more than in a building that has 2 elevators. So there's more chances of mechanical breakdown. This is how my brain thinks. I need a pill. So he's on the 9th floor. I press the button and I swear, like I had to, like, when I'm nervous, I have to shit. Like, I had to shit. So I had to worry about taking the elevator. And then when I get there, I had to worry about shitting discreetly. So the elevator comes. It's one of the ones too that has like one door. You know the ones that have like 2 doors? Those ones feel more safe, like I could maybe pry them open if I get stuck. So it took a while. It was like a Saturday night, so it was pretty busy in the building. There was a couple people getting on with me. So me and the people get on the elevator. And I'm standing there. The door's closing, the door's closing, the door's closing. Right when, like, there's barely any room, I freak out. I'm like, wait. I shoved past this one guy. He's like, hey. And I put my arm in the door, and it hurt so bad because I barely had room to squeeze. The door was closed on me. And I was like, no. And I ran out of the elevator. So everyone was looking at me because the door opened back up, right? And they're just staring at me, and they're like, I'm sure they've never encountered that in their lives. And they're like, are you coming on? I was like, no. So I took the stairs. Like, really? Who does that? And I've done that a few times, freaked out when the elevator's about to close, and it's really dangerous. And I always get slam jammed into the door, and I'm like freaking out. Anyways, speaking of an incident where that reminds me of a time, claustrophobic people don't like to be in complete darkness either. You need to see where you are and feel out in the open, and the dark is very claustrophobic, okay? It engulfs you. So one day in high school, none of the classrooms had windows. They were classrooms that had like no windows. This one did anyway. It was sex education. It was physical education, but in physical education in grade 9, we had sexual education. So we're all in this packed classroom, and the door's over here, and I'm all the way in the other corner near the front of the class. I wanted to see those up-close diagrams of those ovaries and testes. I don't know why I sat near the front. All of a sudden, all the power goes out. Because there were no windows, and the door didn't have like a little window. You know, it was like a solid door. Complete blackness. I couldn't see anyone. So, instantly panicked, which caused my body to jump up. Everyone else was sitting calmly, not making a noise, so the room was silent and dark. And I got up, right, and I was trying to feel my way to the door. I wanted to just jet, like that fight or flight. Jet. I was, you know, that adrenaline was like, boo! I instantly get up, trying to maneuver my way, stepping on people's feet, jumping over desks, I swear. And all you hear in the darkness is, ow, wow, what the fuck? It sounded like chaos. So the lights go back on, and when the lights go on, so weird. All you see, I'm in the middle of the room, from the corner into the middle now. My ass is like propped up on someone's desk, on their paperwork, crumpling it. I'm pretty sure it was Tommy because I remember his face looking at me. Tommy probably would have got an F anyway, so his paperwork wasn't important. Didn't like that guy. So I'm on his desk, and everyone's just looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing kind of look, you know? And I was like, and the teacher too, she's like, Chantal, get to your seat, like, you know? That was embarrassing. So speaking of embarrassing, this is the worst. It's kind of gross. I think I was 19. I was living at home with my parents, my mom and stepdad, and I had the basement as a room, but I had like no door. The washer and dryer were down there. It wasn't very private. And I liked to sleep in. When I was younger, I was so lazy, as I am now, but I really like to sleep in. And I went out a lot, so I was hungover a lot. So one Friday, my mom told me that tomorrow, so one Saturday, she was hiring these carpet cleaners to come in on the Saturday morning, early, to clean the carpets. And they would probably be cleaning in my room. So I might want to get up. I was like, oh, I'll just let them clean. I don't care. Or I'll worry about it, you know, when they come in. Well, that night, I had been out drinking or whatever, partying. And, you know, Saturday morning came along. And after a night of drinking, I wasn't vomit sick, but I was butthole sick. And they were there upstairs cleaning the carpets. And I don't think they knew I was there. Like, my mom didn't tell them I would be there. So they didn't know. And I had to go to the bathroom really bad. They weren't cleaning the basement. Did the basement have carpet? Not much. They were only doing the upstairs and the stairs, yeah. So I didn't want them to know I was there so that they wouldn't bug me and I wouldn't have to get up, you know? I wouldn't have to interact with them. So I thought I'll quietly go for a shit, you know? Well, I had diarrhea pretty bad. Like, the toilet was full. TMI. The night before, I'm pretty sure I drank so much, and then we had like shawarma after, so you can imagine. So silly. So I get back in bed and I'm dozing off, and all I hear is, hey Bill, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna need to use the bathroom, I need to take a piss. To my horror, we have two bathrooms. We have one in the basement, we have one upstairs, like on the top floor, and they were in the middle floor. Bill decides to go downstairs to pee. So the downstairs bathroom is here, and I'm just right there. So he gets into the bathroom, and I'm like, oh god, wait for it. Hear the toilet seat go up, and he doesn't pee. I don't hear any pee. So he just runs back up the stairs, and all I hear is, holy fuck, whatever the other guy's name was. The toilet is full of shit. So he's like, is there someone else here? At that, when he said that, with my like comforter blanket, I wrapped it around me. I was in my underwear and like a tank top, I think, or a shirt. I never sleep with pants on, hardly. Wrapped it up. In the basement, there was like a back door that led to like a staircase, but the staircase was covered. So I wrapped myself up in my blanket, zoomed out the back door, and shut it behind me. And I stayed on the steps in the back for a couple of hours until they were done to avoid the embarrassment. Yeah. The thing is, the guy was a friend of my stepdad's. So I did have to see him again. And when I was introduced to him the first time, we had like an understanding. Like, I don't know if I was just paranoid, but he was looking at me like, I know what you did. Crazy. I know. Embarrassing. I know. I do these weird things and I'm like... Anyways, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty stuffed. I feel satiated. So yeah. when you're riding in an Uber and you feel something itchy. Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea.